Welcome everybody to the call today. I am so excited that you're here. I noticed that a lot of you have already dropped in the chat where you are from. If you could continue doing that, I would love to see where everybody's chiming in from. I am Coach Holly. I'm an elite mindset coach here at GoPro, and I'm really excited to be here with you today. Just so you guys know, we'll be having a skill set training for about 25 minutes, and then we'll do about 5 minutes of Q&A at the end. And if you have any administrative or program specific questions, just email support@goprocertified.com, and then everything will be taken care of for you. So I just want to take a moment and just recognize something that's really important right now, and that is that you are here on this call, which tells me that you are a network marketing professional. You're not somebody that's just dabbling in network marketing. You're not a hobbyist. You're not somebody that's just hoping that this is going to work. You're someone that's decided that this is your profession. And professionals do not look for shortcuts. They master skills. And so today we're going to be talking about one of the most important income producing skills in this profession, and that is authentic prospecting through relationship first conversations. And so this is just really being authentic and prospecting, and knowing that this is not about scripts. This is not about having something in front of you that you're reading from. This is not about pressuring somebody to join your business. And this is not about convincing anyone to buy anything or join a program or anything like that. This is really about learning how to connect with people in a way that builds trust and rapport and long-term teams as well. And so if you master this, every single thing will change. And so I think that's why this is so amazing. And a lot of people struggle with traditional prospecting, not because they're lazy or because they don't care. They struggle because prospecting has been taught backwards. And I know with my network marketing business, I was taught to lead with the opportunity. I pitched things too soon. I talked way more than I listened, and I focused on closing instead of connecting with people. And what happens with this is that people will feel it. They feel the agenda. They feel the pressure. They feel like they're being sized up instead of seen. Tony Robbins, he says that the quality of your life is the quality of your relationships. And I think the same is true for your business. The quality of your business is the quality of your relationships. And if people don't feel a relationship with you, they're not going to follow you. They won't trust you. They won't build with you. And so I want you to just remember that we are not in the business of enrolling people. We're in the business of building relationships that enroll people naturally. Okay. And Eric teaches us that professionals don't chase, they sort. They don't convince, they invite. And they don't pressure, they educate. And so I kind of want to break this down just a little bit before we go into what conversations could look like. Chasing comes from scarcity and sorting comes from clarity. And so when someone is chasing somebody, they need the outcome. They push the energy forward and they try to make something work. And when someone is sorting, they're grounded, they're observant, and they let the truth reveal itself. And I like to think of this kind of like going to like a doctor's office where, you know, doctors are not chasing you down the hallway. They're not chasing after you to get you to take some kind of a medication or to diagnose you. They sit down with you. They listen to you. They hear your concerns and hear where your life's at right at that moment. And then they move forward according to what you guys discuss. And someone that's sorting, you know, is very grounded and they let the truth reveal itself. So sorting just means that you're not trying to get everybody in, but you're trying to discover who is right for your business. And when you're sorting, you're looking for values that align with yours. Divine timing. Someone, you want people in your organization who have a desire for growth and someone that's coachable. Very, very important to find people that are coachable and someone that shows that they are emotionally ready. And it's really also important to understand that not everybody's going to be a fit for your business, and that's totally okay. It's okay if people are not a perfect fit, but that's a sign of professionalism. That's not a sign of failure. So sorting removes desperation instantly and raises your authority. Okay. The second one that Eric taught is that they don't convince, they invite. Convincing just assumes that the other person is missing something and that you need to prove value, and that resistance is a problem. But when you invite people, you allow people to decide for themselves. You note that curiosity is more powerful than persuasion, and the right people are going to lean in naturally. An invitation would sound something like, would you be open to exploring something? If I share what I'm working on, could you tell me if it resonates with you? No pressure. This might not even be for you, and that's totally okay. But there's an energy shift. Pressure closes people, but gaining permission opens people. We don't want to close people. We want to open people. And this is going to be a process that we're going to go through this process. But people protect their autonomy, and invitations honor that autonomy. Okay. So the third one is they don't pressure, they educate. So pressure is an emotional force, and education is a neutral clarity that you can have. So pressure would say, you should join my team. You need to buy some of my products because they are the best out there. Or you'd be crazy not to listen to what I'm saying. Where education on the flip side says, this is what it is. This is who it's for. This is who it's not for. And this is how it's helped me, right? So that's the education side of it. Okay. So professionals present information without attachment, and that's really important. We do not want to attach to an outcome. It's really important to not have that attachment. But when people feel informed, they feel empowered. And when they feel empowered, that's when they're going to start moving. And so your tone should always say, you're smart and you get to decide what you want to do from here. And so we want to go from being a persuader to a curious explorer. And I'll explain these just a little bit. First, the persuader. This is somebody that's going to talk more than they listen, that feels responsible for the decision, and tries to overcome objections. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'll slow down just a little bit. Thank you for telling me. Appreciate that. Okay, so persuading is exhausting and it's not sustainable at all. Okay. The curious explorer asks better questions and lets silence work. Silence is a wonderful thing, and we need to treat it that way. And the curious explorer also follows energy and not scripts. So their mindset is always, let's see if this fits your life. Okay. And when we do that, curiosity creates safety. And in turn, that safety will create honesty, and honesty will create that alignment. And that's what we really want. We want that alignment. And our job in network marketing is not to get a yes. That is not our goal at all. Because when your goal is a yes, you shrink the relationship. You rush the timing. And you could miss some red flags here and there. But when your goal is a great conversation, that's when people take a step back and they relax, and the truth comes to the surface, and the trust that you have between you can build a little bit more. So a great conversation is where both people feel respected, clear, and complete, regardless of the outcome. And sometimes, even if we get a no, the win is that maybe we gain a deeper connection with somebody. Maybe it's a clearer no for now, and maybe down the road they'll jump in and come with us and maybe have that future conversation. And all of these are successes. They are not losses on our side. Okay. So professionals don't need to sell because they're not trying to get everyone. They're just trying to find the right ones. So that's something that we really need to remember. And I will add to this too, that if you believe in your organization and what it stands for, and you have a personal testimony about a product or some part of your organization, the structure, the pay scale, anything, a personal testimony, that what you have at your fingertips will help and inspire other people, you will never be selling a day in your life because you will only be helping people. Okay. This is something that we need to remember. If you do not have a personal testimony about some part of your business, I'm going to invite you to find one. Take a week. You know somebody that has products or has information. Go try those products. Go try them out. See how you feel. Whatever your network marketing business is. Okay, so really quick, going back to chasing and sorting, I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions. Number 1, where have I been chasing instead of sorting? Or who have I been chasing? The second question is, what shifts when my goal is a real conversation? And the third question is, how would I show up differently if a no was just information? Okay, I'll go over those real quick because they were kind of long. Okay, be clear in what you're selling. Yes, thank you so much for that comment. Yes, be clear in what you're selling. Gain that testimony. So these questions again are, where have I been chasing instead of sorting, or who have I been chasing? What shifts when my goal is a real conversation? And how would I show up differently if a no was just information? Okay. And the difference is that amateurs are going to focus on outcomes when you as professionals are going to focus on a process. Okay. Your job is not to get a yes. Your job is to create a good conversation. So when you focus on the conversation instead of the conversion, your results will increase because conversion is an outcome and conversation is a process. Okay, we cannot control outcomes, but we can control a process. So when people focus on conversion, they start steering the conversation and they rush through things and they explain too much, and they try to land a plane before there's even a runway to land the plane on. And so the other person can really feel that. And when they feel it, they pull back. So conversation first prospecting does the complete opposite. Okay. I'll go back to question 2 really fast. What shifts when my goal is a real conversation? Thank you for writing that, Carolina. Appreciate that. Okay. Okay, so conversation first prospecting does the opposite, because a real conversation will give people space to think and to respond and to participate. Instead of being talked at, they are involved. And the key point with that is that people don't commit to conclusions that they didn't help create. Okay, they will not commit if they didn't help create that conclusion. So when someone talks, reflects, and arrives at their own clarity and their own conclusion, their decision is stronger and it lasts longer. And they're far more likely not just to follow through, but also to stick with you in your business for a longer period of time. So conversation first prospecting, it may feel slower in the moment, but it actually increases your results over time, because the people who say yes are clearer and they're more committed and they're more likely to stay with you. And that's why professionals don't rush to convert. They let the conversation do the work. Okay. So I want to go through building rapport, because I feel like building rapport is really important as well. And rapport is not small talk. You know, small talk is that surface level conversation used to create brief social discomfort or social comfort, excuse me. And it's not a deep understanding. It's like talking about the weather, right? But rapport is a lot deeper. Rapport is the moment that somebody thinks that this person actually really, really gets me. And there are 3 pillars of authentic rapport that I wanted to go through. The very first one, and I feel like this is so foundational, is presence. Being present with somebody. Presence means that you are not waiting for your turn to talk. You are not rehearsing your response. You are not scanning the room looking for the next person that you're going to talk to, or checking your phone, or thinking about what this interaction will lead to. You are fully present. You are fully there. And presence is communicated long before a single word is spoken. Okay. Eye contact that isn't rushed or distracted is a communication. Body language that's open and still, and a nervous system that's regulated and not hurried. Also, a genuine curiosity instead of performing or putting on some kind of a show. Okay, so we need to remember, Tony Robbins says that where your focus goes, energy flows. And neuroscience totally confirms this. There were studies, I just want to touch on this really quick. Studies on interpersonal attunement show that when one person is fully present, the other person's nervous system subconsciously detects it. And MRI scans show that focused attention increases activity in the brain regions associated with trust and empathy and emotional regulation. And so that's particularly in the prefrontal cortex. So in simple terms, when your attention is fully on someone, their brain feels safer. And really, people feel more satisfied and valued in conversations where the other person asks attentive follow-up questions, even if the conversation itself is brief. That presence just creates a meaning. And so when your focus is truly on the other person, they don't just hear it, they feel it, and people will remember how you make them feel. Don't forget that. The second pillar of building authentic rapport is listening to understand. Listening to understand, so important, because most people listen to respond. I don't know if you've ever had a conversation with somebody where you're talking and they're just like, they want to talk, they want to answer, what you're asking like right away, right? Most people listen to respond, but professionals listen to understand. And the average person is internally asking questions like, what should I say next? How do I sound? When can I jump in? When can I share my side of this, right? But authentic connection happens when that internal dialogue goes quiet and a different question takes over. Please write this question down. What are they really telling me? What are they really telling me? This kind of listening goes beyond words, because we're listening for emotion beneath the sentence and meaning behind the story that they're telling us. And they also, in conversation, we can hear needs that are being expressed indirectly. We have been given a wonderful gift with network marketing, and that is reading between the lines with people that we're speaking with. There's lots of research that's done on reflective listening, and they accurately restate that when someone feels or means, I did not write that right, accurately restating what someone feels or means dramatically increases trust and emotional openness. So when you reflect back what someone says, like, what I'm hearing you say is this, it sounds like what's really frustrating to you is this. You're going through something really difficult. I'm so sorry about that, right? And you activate something called the psychological validation. And validation doesn't mean that you're in agreement. It just means that you are recognizing. And I don't know if any of you have ever heard this quote, that people will work their entire lives for a paycheck, but they will die for recognition. Recognize people, see people, whether that's prospects or people in your downline, your sideline, your upline. Recognize people. When people feel understood, activity in the brain's threat centers, sorry, I'm getting a little scientific here, in the amygdala decreases, while the prefrontal cortex, which is where your logic and your decision-making and your trust is, it becomes more active. So this is why listening to understand builds trust faster than a presentation or a pitch or an explanation ever could, because people don't resist information, they resist feeling unseen. Okay. The third pillar is emotional safety. Okay, people do not open up because you are convincing. They will open up because they feel safe. Emotional safety is a very foundational aspect of building rapport, because when people feel safe, there's no judgment, there's no pressure, there's no urgency, and there's no agenda that you're pushing. And in emotionally safe environments, people's defenses lower naturally. Okay. So when someone feels emotionally safe with you, they're going to tell you the truth. They're going to share their doubts and their fears, and they're going to explore possibilities without feeling trapped. And I'm sure that all of you have felt trapped in a situation before, in a conversation, right? And we don't want anybody to feel that. So this is why pressure kills rapport, because pressure signals that there's danger in to the nervous system. But when somebody feels safe, they feel that they're free to choose, and they feel respected, and they also feel like they're not being judged. So when people feel no pressure, they're far more likely to lean in. And when people feel emotionally safe with you, they don't need convincing, because they're going to choose aligning with you. They're going to choose that alignment. And they follow because it feels right, not because they were pushed into something. This is a decision that they made themselves, not because they were pushed. So authentic rapport is built when your presence tells someone that they matter, your listening tells them that they're understood, and your emotional safety tells them that they are respected. Okay. So when these three pillars are in place, influence stops feeling like influence and it becomes a connection. And connection will always win 100% of the time. Okay. So in a relationship first conversation, they are not designed to move someone somewhere. Okay, very important to understand. It's not meant to move somebody somewhere. It is designed to meet someone where they already are. So if you do this correctly, this type of conversation lowers resistance, and trust will increase, and alignment will come from that naturally without any pressure or persuasion or performance. And so I want to walk you through the exact flow of what a relationship first conversation looks like. Okay. And I'll go a little bit slower for this so you guys can take some notes. Step one is connect as a human. Okay. You are not opening up a business conversation. You are opening up a human conversation. And this is really important, and probably more important than people actually realize. The brain, the human brain, is consistently scanning for threat or safety. And so when someone senses that they're being approached with an agenda, the brain is going to shift into protection mode. But when they feel like a genuine curiosity, your nervous system just automatically relaxes. Okay. And so that's why the opening matters. So instead of leading with who you are and what you do and what you want from people, you lead with presence and humanity. Okay. Look at their social media. Notice what they're doing. Ask questions. How have things been going for you lately? What's been taking up most of your time these days? What's made you feel most alive most recently, right? And these questions do two very powerful things. First, they signal interest without expectation. And they also invite reflection and not defense. And so at this stage, there's no agenda, there's only curiosity. And curiosity is felt. People feel curiosity. So step two is to explore their world. Again, look at their social media. Once connection's established, your role is to step into their reality, not pull them into yours. And so this is where clean, open-ended questions matter. And clean questions are neutral and non-manipulative, and they're spacious. So some of those questions could sound like, what do you love most about what you're doing right now? What do you love most about what you're doing right now? What feels most important to you in your life right now? And I love this last one. If nothing changed over the next year, how would you feel about that? Okay, if nothing changed over the next year, how would you feel about that? These questions invite people to think out loud. And when people can verbalize their thoughts and emotions, they gain clarity and emotional regulation. Okay, and so your job here is not to interrupt, not to redirect, and not to correct. You just want to let them talk and let them process. And just remember that silence is not awkward here, it's very productive. And people often hear themselves more clearly when someone else is really listening. And so I personally believe that we were given two ears and one mouth for a reason. Just listen. Just listen. Okay, step 3 is identify dissatisfaction or desire. This to me is such an important step. Every human being is oriented towards one of two motivational forces. We are either moving away from pain or moving toward a vision. Okay? People make decisions based on discomfort they want to escape or outcomes that they want to create. So your job is not to create dissatisfaction. Your job is not to to manufacture desire. Your job is to notice what already is there. So I want you to listen for frustration, fatigue, longing, excitement, maybe some comments that say, I wish I, or someday I wish I could, or I'm just tired of my life right now. We need to just listen for those. Okay. These are signals. These are things that we really need to tap into. And when people articulate their own pain or their vision, it carries a lot more weight than anything that you could ever say, because people are significantly more likely to take action when they name the reason. And so this is why professionals never convince, they witness. Just witness it. And then step 4 is permission-based invitation. And this is where true professionals separate themselves from amateurs. Because in permission-based invitation, you do not pitch, you do not assume, and you do not push. You ask permission. So examples of this would be, would you be open to exploring something if it aligned with what you already shared? Would you be open to exploring something if it aligned with what you just shared with me? I love that question. And I didn't realize how far into the time we are. We're already at the time I'm supposed to stop. I want to just finish this though. The reason that this matters, we do need an hour's worth. I totally agree. Another question is, can I share a thought and you can tell me if it resonates with you? And the reason that this matters is because permission preserves dignity and pressure will remove it. And a lot of people miss that if they say no, honor that. Honor it. No persuasion, no convincing, no just let me add one more thing in there. Honor it. That respect does something really powerful and it builds long-term trust. And people remember how you made them feel when they had a choice. And often the very act of honoring a no becomes a reason that they say yes later. Okay. So a little summary: relationship first conversations, connect as a human, explore their world, notice pain or desire. And the fourth one is invite with permission. And so when a conversation's rooted in respect, people don't feel sold, they feel supported. And that's where real relationships and real results will begin. And so Tony Robbins, I love Tony Robbins. He says, people will do more to avoid pain than they will do to gain pleasure. And so when you connect deeply, you help people move away from pain and towards possibility. So I'm going to leave you with a challenge this week. 2 of them, actually. Number 1, if you have not gained a testimony of your organization, gain a testimony of some part of your organization, whether that's a product, the structure, the pay scale, whatever it is, what it's done for you in your life, gain a personal testimony of your network marketing business. Second, I want you to have a minimum of 5 conversations this week. And if you want to go more than that, please, by all means, do 5 a day if you want. 5 conversations with absolutely no attachment to the outcome. No attachment to the outcome. I want you to focus on listening, understanding, and serving people. Listen, understand, and serve. Because when you lead with a relationship, the business will follow. It really will. So Okay, I have just a minute or so. I'm just going to go to the chats really fast. Oh my goodness, there's so many. Let's. I love this. I love that you guys are so active on here. Thank you so much. Okay. Oh, let's go to the end. Okay, let's see. 4 steps. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Full transcript is under the show captions button, so you can take some notes. Anybody have any questions? Okay. Thank you everybody for jumping on. Just a quick reminder that Coach Gill will be on here on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific. He's going to be talking about limiting beliefs and recognizing your own personal limiting beliefs. This is a huge thing if you're wanting to get over some roadblocks that maybe you've been facing within your business. So please tune in to that on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. And I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much for your kind words. I really appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you later.